Sorry about the mess, George.
Cracking party. Don't worry. I'll clear the mess up. Morning, Henry.
Oh, don't shout.
Tea, coffee, toast?
No.
You sure?
You're not supposed to have anything before an operation.
Oh, come on, Henry. You were lucky. You went to bed last night.
So did you?
Oh, that was you, was it? I thought she was a bit unresponsive.
What makes you so perky this morning?
Well, I had to stay sober last night in case we disturbed Susie. Henry, we didn't make an awful lot of noise. We did, yeah. She'll be round, you know.
Will she?
In 30 seconds, she'll be around, I'm telling you, and she's going to tell me to sell this place.
Just you listen to me, George.
Don't hit me because Henry's here.
No, morning, Susie.
Sit down, Henry. Don't tell me we made any noise. Like, it was as quiet as the grave.
Yes, on the night they held the dance of the skeletons.
I stayed sober especially to shush them.
Your shushing, George, was louder than their sing-song. Excuse me, Henry.
No, excuse me, Susie. I definitely joined in on Lily of Laguna.
Lily of Laguna was what I would have called one of the quiet spots of the evening. I was trying to watch television, and the religious programme was entirely drowned out by 9 verses of the filthy version of Bless 'Em All.
I warned them about that. I definitely warned them about that.
Oh, I know.
One,
I heard your warnings, George. They were even louder than the shushing.
We didn't even know them. I mean, Henry and I were in this pub last night having a quiet pint.
George, I'm not interested in
I mean, these people literally insinuated themselves onto our personalities.
In any case, I am not going to say what I was going to say in front of Henry.
That's right. You let sleeping dogs lie.
In your case, the dog doesn't lie except in its teeth.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
In fact, I wasn't going to say what I was going to say in front of Henry, but now I will. I will say it to Henry.
Oh, crikey.
Sit down, Henry.
George promised to move out of here if the decree absolute went through. He promised, and on the strength of that, I did not ask for any alimony, because I thought he would need every penny to find himself somewhere to live. Now, George has not made the slightest effort.
Just a minute, Henry. The estate agents have not stopped sending people to look over this place.
And you have not stopped getting rid of them.
Well, I can't give them a moving-in date if I've got nowhere to move to.
But you haven't looked.
I've looked.
George, I don't believe you. For some reason, you don't find the situation of 2 divorced people living next door to each other as ghastly as I do. Henry, don't you think it's ghastly?
Well, I wouldn't like it.
That's the last time you'll sleep with me.
And this is the last time I'm warning you, George. If you don't move out of here, I will, which means I'm going to ask you for alimony.
All this for a few verses of Lily of Laguna, you know that.
All this because we are divorced.
Okay.
Now, this is the last time I am warning you.
Okay.
If you don't move, I will.
Yes, so you said.
Now, that's not unfair, is it, Henry?
Can I pass?
You see, you don't only embarrass me, you embarrass your friends as well.
He's not embarrassed, he's just half cut.
What? I'm not feeling too well either, and it's not just because I didn't have any sleep. Goodbye, Henry.
Goodbye, Susie.
Sit down, Henry.
I'm sorry, George. I think I started Bless 'Em All.
Do you think she was joking then, or was she serious?
I think she was serious.
Oh, well, that's all right, because I don't like jokes like that. She means it, then?
Will you have to move?
I can't afford to start paying alimony.
Did she mean that?
She means that. I'm telling you, she means that. She doesn't know how lucky she is, you know. She won't find another neighbour like me.
It'll serve her right if she gets someone she doesn't like living next door.
I just hope she gets the most terrible new neighbour, Henry.
Roland Warner.
Roland Warner? Well, the new fella in your office looks a bit like Al Capone. What made you think of him?
Oh, my secretary heard that Roland Warner was looking for a new flat, and she said if he moved next door to her, she'd move out. Very sensitive is Carol.
Oh, I remember Carol. She is a bit, yeah.
Even the magic roundabout gives her nightmares. She won't even go up in a lift with Roland.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be all that fussy. Roland Warner. Hey, what if Roland Warner came to live here?
No, he's found a place now, George.
Just a minute, Henry. No, but what if he came for a couple of drinks to, look over the place and Susie caught a couple of glimpses of him? I think she'd prefer me to Al Capone, wouldn't she?
I don't think Susie scares as easily as Carol.
No, but I could lay it on a bit, a few spine-chilling stories about him. Worth a try, isn't it?
I don't know, George.
Combination of me moving off with tears in my eye and Roland Warner doing the heavy breathing in the night. It's going to work, Henry. It's going to work. I think we ought to have a little talk with Roland. Well, you see, Roland, Henry and I were talking earlier on, and we thought it was about time we all got together for a beer and a natter.
Well, that's very nice of you, George. But, as a matter of fact, I haven't met many people since I've been in the department.
Well, it's about time you found out who your friends were, right, Henry?
Yeah, well, to tell you the truth, George, I don't find it that easy to make friends.
Really? Really? What about birds, though, eh?
Birds?
I mean, you've got a girlfriend, have you?
Well, not exactly.
How do you mean, Roland?
Well, to tell you the truth, George, I don't find it very easy to sort of get on with birds, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, look, you see, I've got this shyness problem, see, and I'm not a very good conversationalist, and when I'm trying to chat one up, well, I always seem to make a mess of it, so I don't get much practice. So then I get worse, and then I make a bigger mess of it.
You know, looking at you, Roland, I find that almost impossible to believe. I don't know about you. How do you feel about that, Henry?
I'm not sure I believe it even now, George.
No, it's true.
Honestly?
No, honestly.
Yeah?
Do you know, sometimes, well, out of desperation, I try and strike up conversations in lifts.
In lifts, Roland, how does that work exactly?
Well, you see, I reckon that in a lift, you've got 8 floors in which to make an impression.
And does it work?
No. No, they usually get out at the 2nd floor and walk the rest.
Well, I tell you what, Roland, I think I might be able to help you on this one. Because the girl who lives next door to me, Henry, what's her name, Henry?
Susie.
Susie, yes, Susie. You see, she's got almost exactly the same problem. I mean, she is terrifically shy. Now, I think I could probably do you both a favour by introducing you.
Well, I don't think she can be as shy as I am, George.
Well, why don't you give it a try, Roland?
Well, I mean, if she is as shy as I am, I mean, we're just going to sit there and seize up together. It's going to be one long pause.
Not with George there to show you the ropes.
No, it's very nice of you, but
Roland, are you going to give this a try? Or are you just going to go around emptying lifts for the rest of your life? I mean, if not for you, I mean, think of this girl, Roland. I mean, do it for her.
Well, I suppose I could give it a try.
That's right, Roland. Well, tell you what, look, I'll meet you in the pub after work about 6 o'clock and take you down in the car, OK?
Oh, thanks, but... Oh, George, how do I get back?
Oh, there's plenty of trains back at night. Well, that's if you want to get back, Roland.
Oh, thanks very much, George.
See you later, Roland.
See you.
Okay.
Bye.
248, please.
Susie Lonsdale?
Yeah, I wonder if you're interested in posing for some nude photographs.
What do you want, George?
I just rang up to tell you that you might be losing your neighbour.
Really?
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a fella coming around to look at it tonight.
Oh, that's jolly quick.
Yeah, well, it is, yes. The estate agents rang up. Apparently this fellow has seen it before. I just thought you'd be interested, that's all.
Oh, well, yes, that's very good news, George.
OK. Look, will you be in this evening, darling?
Why?
Well, I just thought that if this fellow is interested, it might be a good idea...
Or to meet him, you mean?
That's the idea, yeah.
Yes, I'll be in, George.
OK, well, see you later on, darling.
Goodbye.
Bye. How do you feel now? Bit like that, eh? Now, listen, my cottage is the right-hand one of those two.
Oh, that's very nice, George.
Listen, I've been thinking about it. I think it's a good idea if we arrive separately.
Separately?
Yeah. Well, I told you she's a bit shy and a bit nervous, and we don't want her to give her the impression that this is a put-up job, do we?
Oh, no, we don't.
So, I think the best thing to do is to pretend that you've come to look over the house. You see, I mean, it's on the market, so she's going to believe that, right?
Yeah, so we don't really know each other.
That's the idea. Yeah, look, and when you go past her place towards my cottage, just a touch of realism, you know. Look through her window, just as if you weren't quite sure which cottage was which, right?
Right.
All right, Roland, good luck. I'll see you.
George.
You saw her, did you?
Yeah.
What do you think, Roland?
She's very pretty, isn't she?
Yeah. Do you think she's your type?
Oh, yes, I think so, but my word, she is shy, isn't she?
Shy, Roland?
Well, yeah, I mean, I looked in through the window and smiled, and she backed away.
Did she? Did you? Well, I mean, I told you she was shy, yeah.
Well, I mean, how are you going to get her in here?
Well, I'll pop round and ask her if she'd like to meet her new neighbour, you see, right?
Yeah. What now?
Yeah, okay, I'll go now. You smiled at her, did you?
Yeah.
What? So what kind of a smile was it, Roland?
Well, just an ordinary smile. Yeah.
Wait a second. Susie! Hello there. Are you all right, Di?
What?
Well, you look as though you've seen a ghost.
No, I'm fine.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, I just popped in to tell you that chap's looking over the place.
That chap?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one I told you about on the phone.
How long has he been here?
Well, he's just arrived, Di. Why?
Oh, it was just that somebody looked through my window just now, made me jump. It must have been him.
Really? Yeah.
What does he look like?
Oh, well, he's a tall fellow, long face and a moustache. I suppose it does look a bit weird, but you should worry. I mean, as long as I'm moving out, hey?
Keen, is he?
On you?
To buy.
Oh, you're potty about the place. Yeah. Well, that's all your dreams answered, eh?
Married?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, actually, it looks a bit of a lonely soul to me. Could be your type.
What do you mean, my type?
Well, you know, he might bring out the mother in you. You play your cards right, he might bring out the father in him. Anyway, why don't you pop round and see him then?
George, no, I think I've got rather a lot to do.
Well, if he's going to move in, you'll have to say hello sometimes. Look, I'll go and get a celebration drink ready. Don't be long. Roland. It's your lucky night.
Really?
Who's the darling, she said.
She did.
I said, what darling? You know, pretending innocent. She said the darling will look through the window.
But why did she back away then?
Backed away, nothing. She just gone weak at the knees.
Is she coming round then?
She couldn't wait, Roland. Now listen, we've just met, right? You've come to look over the cottage, okay?
You're jolly clever, you know, George.
Well, I don't let the grass grow. Now, Roland, I told you she is dreadfully shy, and I think this is where a lot of blokes make their mistakes, because they tend to hold back. I mean, they don't put all their cards on the table at once. Now, I don't want you to make that mistake. I mean, she fancies you already, so your quid's in, Roland.
Well, how do you think I ought to behave, George?
Well, I mean, first things first. I mean, when you shake her hand, I mean, just hold her hand that fraction of a second too long. And fix her face, you know, face to face, and give her a little twinkle with your eyes.
George, how do you make your eyes twinkle?
Well, you just wrinkle them up like that. That's it. And, give her a little wink, just to let her know what's what. See what I mean? And sit down beside her, be attentive.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to appear too forward.
Well, you please yourself, Roland, but I promise you this, mate. She's never fancied anybody who's dragged their feet. There she is.
Well, you know best, George.
Roland, good luck.
Thanks.
Oh, do come in. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Warner, who's interested in buying the place. I'm sorry, I don't know your first name.
Roland.
Roland. Miss Susie Lonsdale.
How do you do?
How do you do?
What about a drink?
Brandy, please.
Brandy and...
Just on its own.
On its own, OK. What about you, Roland?
No, I'm fine, thank you, George.
That's the style. Do sit down, would you?
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Warner's interested in buying the place.
Oh, really?
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
I'm not sure whether it's the place he's interested in or his next-door neighbour.
Are you married, Mr. Warner?
You can call me Roland.
Yes, call him Roland.
Roland?
Am I married?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
But you've got nothing against marriage, surely?
Oh, no. No, I'm not against marriage.
Roland, if you would excuse me, I think I'm just...
Ah, it's a pity about that.
She will come back, though.
Well, look, I tell you what, Roland, I'll just go and find out. Eh?
George, did I do all right?
You did fine. You did fine, Roland. Cary Grant couldn't have done better than that.
Thank you very much, George.
Roland, I am doing this for both of you. Oh, darling, what do you think? It's nice,
George, you can't sell your cottage to that awful man.
Awful? Awful? I honestly think he's rather sweet.
Sweet?
I mean, I think you've definitely scored there.
George, he's probably boring a peephole through the wall at this very moment. And when he finds out where my bedroom is...
Oh, well, now, look, I wouldn't start talking in terms of bedrooms yet. I mean, I think it's best to get to know each other first.
George, I won't feel safe at night. He'll be banging on my door.
Well, I mean, it'd be company for you, won't he?
You will have my death on your hands, you know. They will find the pieces of my torso in a trunk at St. Pancras.
Why St. Pancras?
Is that what you want?
You're being a bit ridiculous here, darling. I'm not going to listen to any more of
George,
this.
you can't do this to me. You can't hate me that much.
I don't hate you. Look, you want me to move out, and this man's made a marvellous offer. I mean, you haven't changed your mind, have you?
I've changed my mind.
No, well, I think you and Roland will get on fine.
I'll electrify the door handles.
He doesn't smoke. I haven't seen him drink.
So what do you think he does for kicks?
Oh, well, look, I think you won't see a lot of him. I imagine that a lot of people connected with his work will be calling on him at the cottage.
Why, what's his job?
He's a probation officer.
Probation officer?
I thought I'd gone too far, but she just went a shade whiter.
So why isn't she begging you to stay?
Oh, well, you know Susie, stubborn as an ox. She won't give in without a struggle.
You'll have to get Roland back by night.
Yeah, rattling the door handles.
He has gone, I presume.
Yeah, took him to the station. Happy as a sandboy he was.
Susie, please, can I have a word with you?
What?
Well, look, you see, when George was taking me back to the station, we passed a very nice little restaurant down the road, and I wondered if you'd have dinner with me.
No, I'm sorry, I can't.
No, please, Susie, because, well, I got a taxi back specially.
I've got a prior engagement.
What, for dinner?
Yes, sorry.
Well, could we, but, you know, just have a drink?
Well, no, I've got to get ready.
Well, I know, before I go, let me give you my telephone number, huh?
I'm very sorry, but I don't have a pencil.
Oh, no, it's all right, I've got a pen.
Look, I don't see much point. I mean, if you're going to be moving in next door...
Well, I'm not. I never was.
I beg your pardon?
Oh.
You never were?
No, but I promised George that I wouldn't let on.
Or did you?
Yeah, but, well, I mean, you would have found out in the end anyway, wouldn't you?
Come in, Roland. No, really, I'd like you to, really.
Thank you.
Do sit down. What about a drink?
Thank you. These are very nice flowers you've got, aren't they?
Thank you.
Suppose you had to buy them yourself.
I beg your pardon?
Well, I mean, George told me that you didn't have many boyfriends, you know, that you've got this terrible shyness problem, and really that was the reason that I came. I'm saying all the wrong things, aren't I?
No, Roland. As a matter of fact, you're saying all the right things.
Well, George was only thinking of you. I mean, you know George.
Well, I should. He's my ex-husband.
Well, he'd only got your interest. Your ex-husband?
George and I were married for 8 years.
Well, George never told me that.
No, I'm sure he didn't. He doesn't tell everything. That's part of George's charm. It seems to me, Roland, that George has not been entirely honest with either of us. I think it's time we taught him a lesson, don't you?
Yeah, then I thought I'd tell her that Roland had asked if she'd like to be part-time secretary to the Prisoners' Aid Society.
What's the next move then, George?
Well, I've still got Myra up my sleeve.
Oh, yes.
And the Hearts and Flowers bit.
Moving out.
Yeah. I reckon between them, Myra and Roland ought to earn me a decent reprieve. Hey, Hey, she's at the door. I better go. Listen, thanks for ringing, Henry.
Well, I had to know, George.
Yeah, next instalment tomorrow.
Right.
Bye. Sorry to keep you waiting. I was just on the phone there. Do come in, Di. Sit down.
Thank you, George.
Well, Roland's gone, but he likes the place and he'd like to move in quickly.
Would he?
Yeah. Well, he's had a very good offer for his place, and I don't want to lose his offer, so I've just been fixing up on the phone to move out myself.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Where?
Myra's.
Oh.
Well, you know that Myra and I have always been, well, I suppose in Myra's case, you might say bosom friends. Well, Myra's got a big place, and it seemed the logical answer.
When?
Pardon?
Are you,
Oh, moving out?
That's right.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
But, George, what are you going to do with all your furniture?
Well, I'll just be taking a toothbrush or two to Myra's, and Roland said I could very kindly leave some of my stuff here. Well, it suits him, actually, because he's letting his present place furnished, you see.
Furnished?
Yeah.
And when is he moving in here?
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
Or the weekend, you know, something like that.
I see.
So it's the parting of the ways, eh, Susie? Must be a big relief to you after all this time.
Oh, no, George.
Well, I thought we might have a farewell drink because, I mean, you know, we might not meet again for a long time. It would mean a lot to me, darling.
Would it, George?
Oh, yes.
Just a small one, then.
Okay. Brandy?
Brandy would be lovely.
That's the spirit, darling. I'm going to miss this place, darling. I really am. All the memories here. I mean, we may have had a few fights, but we've had some happy times too.
Oh, we have.
Well, I have. I mean, I hope I can speak for you on that one. Yes, some happy times. I mean, sometimes it was almost as if we were married again, wasn't it?
Almost.
And it's so peaceful here, isn't it? It's so quiet. Honestly, 2 years ago, somebody had said to me, I'd swap London for the heather and the bracken, I'd have laughed. But now, in the morning when I get up, the smell of the pines and the song of the meadowlark. The bee winging away happily to a honeycomb. Well, that's life to me. That's my home. Well, it was. It was. Well, that's all over now, isn't it? Still, we mustn't talk about the past, darling.
No.
Let's drink to the future. To our future. Because, Susie, I'd like you to know that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I'll be thinking of you.
Thank you, George.
And always wishing you well. To us.
To us, George.
Is there anything here you'd like before I go, darling? A little memento? The vases, I mean, they'll go nice in your place, wouldn't they? Musical box. Now, you always liked that, didn't you? Home sweet home. Well, you might as well have it, darling, because I wouldn't be able to play it. It would always remind me. Sorry, Dad. Well, I wonder who that is.
I wonder.
Oh, hello, Roland.
George.
Missed the train, did you?
Yes, I did. Wasn't I silly? Yeah, do you know, I was standing there on the platform and I was thinking about Susie and this place.
Yeah.
Well, the train just came in and went out and I was there on the platform.
Well, never mind. There's plenty of trains, Roland. I'll run you to the station.
No. It's all right, George. If it's the same with you, I'd like to stay a bit.
Stay a bit, Roland.
Well, yes, you know, just have a look at the place, get the feel,
yes.
See where I'm going to put my furniture.
Your furniture?
Yes.
Oh. George just told me that he was going to leave all his furniture here.
Yes, because Roland is letting his place furnished, aren't you, Roland?
No. I mean, I couldn't live without my own things about me, you know.
Roland,
and I thought, you know, the telly would go over there quite nicely, and then I've got the stereo which would go either side of the fireplace, And then I've got a collection of pistols which would go up there instead of that animal's head.
Oh, well, that's going to be a bit tricky for you, George, isn't it?
Tricky.
Wait a minute. Oh, you're fun. It's going to be outside in the rain.
Well, listen, don't worry about that, darling, because if you don't mind, Roland and I have got a bit of business to discuss.
Oh, no, that's all right, George. We can talk about it in the office tomorrow. Oh, I am sorry.
You work with Roland, do you, George?
Well, our professional paths may have crossed occasionally.
But your work has got nothing to do with prisoners.
Prisoners, George?
I assure you my ex-husband has never been connected with probation. Have you, George?
Sir, you're her ex-husband, are you?
Do you want this musical box or not?
Didn't you know that George and I had been married?
No.
I wonder why I didn't tell you.
Would you go now,
Oh,
please?
yes, I will. In fact, I will take you up on your invitation, if I may, Roland.
Oh, splendid.
What invitation?
To dinner.
Well, when did Roland invite you for dinner?
Oh, when we had our little chat next door, just before I came in here. Roland and I are just a tiny bit peeved about being taken for a ride, George, aren't we, Roland?
Yes. Just a tiny bit.
Just a minute, Roland.
I think that Roland might be a bit more affable if you were to do the decent thing, George.
Decent thing? What decent...
Well, I think you could think of a decent thing if you really tried, couldn't you?
Pay for dinner.
Isn't he quick?
Well, listen, Edge. You know, we've had a lot of laughs, haven't we, eh? Fair dues. Now then,
Oh,
let's...
George, that really is jolly decent. Thank you.
Listen, you two have a marvellous time and bygones be begun, eh? What?
You know, George, it's very seldom that I take a pretty girl out to dinner. And I've never had that dinner paid for by her ex-husband. And that's the only reason that your head is not hanging up there on the wall next to that moose.